Alright, welcome back to Keller Customs. Today, we're going to bring the Supra back in to be worked on. Let's open up the box and see what we got. Now, I wasn't going to do a whole lot of performance mods to the Supra and that, as it's just a daily driver for me, maybe occasional weekend warrior, so it was never going to be a powerhouse racer or anything like that. I just want to basically enjoy the car, but I want to do something to make it a little more mine. So the first thing I did is I went to A90 shop and I ordered their cold air intake. Now the intake comes with the block-off plate between the engine, new air filter, cone piece, elbow piece to go into the turbo, the other half of the cone piece to go into the turbo, and clamps and instructions. So let's get over to the Supra and start taking this apart. So the first thing we got to do is take off the strut. These are inverted Torx. It is an E14. Put that on there. And the long bolt. Make sure that can come off. Forever. All right, next we take off the two bolts holding the sensor on. That is a T20. Now obviously that's a sensor, so be very careful with that. All right, and then there are 4 clips, and of course it grabbed like the smallest flathead I could get. Lid comes off. And we pull the nice clean air filter. This has not seen any miles whatsoever on it. All right, then it just snaps in there. It does. Just snaps in. And you're going to want to reuse the stock rubber piece for the lower piece. Luckily, mine did not come off. All right, so now we have just this pipe left to do. And all right, so obviously this is somewhat free. So we still need to get back in here and down here. All right, so there's a metal clip in here.
Little clips right there.
So I got a 90-degree, just a long pick, and pop that out. Hopefully I've got that pushed back now far enough. There we go. All right, and then the last thing we gotta do is take off this little hose right here. And I believe that is just a push. Oh no, I broke it. I broke it. And all right, so 2 days ago we started this little intake project, and in the middle of it, doing it, I broke this piece. This goes to the block, hooks onto there, and then hooks to the intake system. This hose you need. It's just simple bolt on there in the block with an O-ring in that. It's kind of behind the turbo inlet, if you will, and it goes on. Anyways, I broke that. If you decide you're doing this and you just need to do it, I had to order another one. It took 2 days to get here, but it is. Now, if you're like me and you break it, here is the most important part, the part number. All right, if you break that hose, that is the part number. Now, I called 3 different Toyota dealerships for this. None of them had it, of course. And they all told me different prices. 30 bucks, 60 bucks, $107. So why this part is fluctuating so much in part depending on the Toyota dealership is beyond me. But anyways, I've got it. So now we're going to reinstall this and try not to break this. All right, so the tip of the screwdriver there is the piece you have to get to. That's where the hose goes. That's a little pain to get around if you're just trying to get around this this intake coupler, if you will. So nonetheless, we got that on. The new hose is just sitting here and that. So keep in mind, be careful when you're doing this. Don't break it. We got our intake tube on. We got it where we hopefully it sits. This has to go on quite a ways on the turbo. Basically, almost that silicone tube has to almost touch where this breather pipe for the turbo goes. It basically has to run into that before you get it, and then you can carefully line up the hose, which you can't really see, but it's back there. And then you tighten up the clamp. And hopefully, we've got this close to the right spot. So next, we put the heat shield in. So, throw it all the way over here. When I get this put on here, I'll show you this little bolt that you got to remove. All right. Underneath this piece of plastic is just a little bolt, a 13 millimeter. In that, you can just loosen it up. You don't have to take this plastic piece off unless you just want to. You can get a wrench in there, and you can get that. The rubber piece that you saved from the airbox is where you place that. And then with the hardware that comes with this, then you have your fender washers, if you will, and you put it on the bottom. And then you put the nut on, and then you hopefully tighten. No bueno. Oh, I might have got it. Yay. You will tighten all of that. Now this should sit basically right around where your old air intake was, so you're still pulling fresh air, but you don't have any of the other stuff that was here. So now, and we slide that thingy. Maybe we should do it the other way. All right, so in order to fight with this, you have to have the want to win which let me tell you, for an intake, as easy as an intake should be, this thing's winning. It's just winning. All right, so gotta get the sensor port through. Gotta get this kind of twisted down. Oh. 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 Oh.
Yeah, looks real good.
So again, it's trial and error. I could twist it more back this way to get it to move off of that a little differently.
Yeah, try that. Try twisting a little bit.
But
Ooh, I like that better.
let's just see with the air filter real quick. There we go. That's how it's sit.
Mm-hmm.
Do we like that?
Mm-hmm. Very much.
If you watch the video of the guy doing this on A90's website, he says this is about a 20-minute job. I don't think this is a 20-minute job. Maybe if you're smarter than us, which could very well be.
And you've done it before.
But this is not a 20-minute job for us.
He also doesn't mention that tube or that breather hose being fragile with it. Be fragile with it!
A breather hose. We weren't even feeling like we were even messing with it all that much, and all of a sudden it just popped
Came
off.
off in our hand, so be very gentle.
His kit, he must have had a Series 1 or something like that, whatever you want to call it, of this. He had a little clippy that clipped back on the turbo, like in the factory location. And they had said that basically all new kits will come with just a silicone hose. And maybe this is just for better heat orientation or whatnot. But I almost think I would have preferred to go with that little clippy that clipped on. That way it was all in right. The good thing is that this is an intake, so you don't have any boost pressures or anything like that. This is basically just sucking in air. So there is some forgiveness to be had, if you will. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Some days.
20-minute job. You have to know which way is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
It's a true story. All right, and then let me see if I've got a... There we go. Okay. All right, got that started. Do the same thing. That seems like the best way to put it. All right. Now, take the sensor, put that back in, hopefully. Okay, so also good news. You don't have to reuse the little
Cheesy.
cheesy mounting bolts, but now I need, no, that looks like it works. They're kind of Allen headish.
Oh boy.
If this doesn't thread in, it does. Okay, so one, and don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. Now these, when you take it out of the other one, when you take it out of the original one, and that they're not very tight at all. So when you go back in, snug is more than fine. All right, so air filters in, sensors in. May have to zip tie that up or something out of the way. All right, so last piece we have to do. Steps of this, 1, 2, 3, 24. Oh, it says I'm putting it on wrong. Please hold while we try this real quick. Though I still don't think that this is right. I've lost the picture. 24. There it is. Okay. All right. So now it says that this should go. Well, it can't go like that. It's supposed to sit just like that. Never mind. I'm not putting it on wrong.
Good to know.
So I'm gonna start at the other end.
Don't drop it.
Mm-hmm. So true. Okay, so there's one. There's two.
I don't know what you did, but it looks better.
Mm-hmm. It does look better.
Sometimes just starting over and repositioning, it looks really good.
Sometimes knowing mechanicking isn't your calling is really where the money's at. That's. I'm gonna snip up my hand first. And all right, so after obviously watching us mess with it, it does go in. This one was fighting me. So again, these are little tiny bolts. So snug seems good to me. I did not put Loctite on these. Maybe if I have to, next time I have to service the air filter or something like that, I will. And just because you're all dying to know I know it, this was 3 Allen to put those on. All right, so now we have done at least the hardest part. We have one more part to do, 2 more parts to do. The first one is make sure you put that on right. Longest bolts in the known universe for those things. Who knows why? All right, and then allow me to kick the instructions out of the way. The final touch is the engine cover. Now, while I was doing this and I had to take the engine cover off, I decided to do something to personalize the car a little more to me. So I went ahead and got the engine cover dipped, hydro dipped. So the dip is blue carbon. So it's got a blue carbon that may or may not show up very well on this.
It's looking pretty good.
Well, Ashley says it's looking pretty good, as you heard. We will have to get another picture of it, kind of maybe in this direct sunlight so you can see it, but nonetheless, I had them basically sand it all way down. They saved the badge and put some new adhesive on it and restuck it. But it is on. So, the last thing we need to do is put that on. And now we have it complete. So next, we'll take it for a spin and see what we can hear. Hear it?
Oh, I do hear it.
So, it's nighttime. It's when the snow finally stopped. And we decided to take it out for a run, the Supra out for a run, just to see what kind of differences we could feel. Now, I don't really expect to feel much of a difference power-wise or anything like that. But the noises, this one is supposed to be kind of the loudest intake of them all. So what we're going to do is just try to get you to hear the noises.
Oh, it sounds really different. I can't stop giggling.
And you can definitely hear the turbo
A lot more.
when you're not in sport mode. So, if you like the turbo noise, this intake is probably realistically a good intake to go with. Again, I really don't expect that I'll notice any performance difference or anything like that. But, you know, helping your car breathe easier is always a good way to start with making power, if you want to make power. Any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to post them up. Please remember to like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.
Oh.
Waiting, loading. All right, and I'm gonna get this just to... Everything on the car is aluminum. So when you drop it, everything is aluminum.
Obviously, we've dropped a few things.
Get a magnet, an extendable one, so you can pull your tools back out of it after you've dropped them several times.